Mariners win 6-3. They improved to 55 and 51 on the season, and they've taken 2 of 3 against the absolutely dreadful Chicago White Sox, who fall to 27 and 80 with that loss. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's go over the scoring plays. White Sox do get on the board first. Andrew Vaughn reaches on an infield single to score Luis Robert. That makes it 1-0. In the fourth inning, though, the Mariners get 3. Jorge Polanco homers to center. Dylan Moore singles in Mitch Haniger, and Victor Robles singles in Josh Rojas. 3-1, middle of the fourth. Mariners get 2 more in the fifth on back-to-back homers. Cal Raleigh goes deep, and Jorge Polanco hits his second of the game. 5-1 in the middle of the fifth. White Sox get 1 in the sixth. Baldwin scores on a fielding error, is what they ended up calling it. They called it a hit for a while. We'll talk about that run in the third and the run on the sixth, because it is something that we'll get there. 5-2 at the end of 6. Mariners get some insurance in the 8th. Jorge Polanco singles to right to score Randy Arozarena. How fun to say Randy Arozarena in a scoring recap. 6-2 in the middle of the 8th. White Sox do get another one in the 8th. Paul DeJong scores on an Andres Munoz wild pitch. We'll talk about why Munoz was in the game and how that's the only negative you could have about Andre Munoz. It makes it 6-3. End of scoring. Mariners get the win. This is kind of a weird one because beggars can't be choosers. And the way the Mariners have played over the last 1/5 of the year, they're kind of beggars. Like, this is a large sample now. So it's a win. It's great to win. I did have some concerns from watching this game. I don't want to go too negative. I never want to go too negative. That's no fun. But there were some things I saw that concerned me. Number one, something that has nothing to do with this game. Come on, Dodgers. Can you please help us out a little bit? 5-0 lead. They blow it. Alex Bregman hits a walk-off homer in the 9th. Everyone's favorite Houston Astro. So you gain no ground with the win. You don't lose any ground, but you don't gain any either, and that's no fun. My dog is currently trying to pull out my microphone, which is just a real hoot. On the field negatives. So, Bryan Woo's pitching today isn't a negative. He goes 4 innings. He gives up 1 run, and it ends up being unearned. But he only throws 70 pitches, and he only goes to 4 innings. And I didn't see any injury update. I was certainly looking for it. It's concerning. It's concerning that they're treating him with these kind of kid gloves. And I get that it's the White Sox. You're probably just hoping that your bullpen can get you through against the worst lineup in baseball. And they end up doing the job. We'll talk about it. But it is concerning, and it puts a lot of pressure on that pen, and a lot of pressure on the 4 starters ahead of him. Really, the big 3 is who you put real pressure on. Unless there was something here, it's not great. I mean, it wouldn't be great even if there is something here. I guess the only exception to that would be, hey, if the Mariners traded Bryan Woo for Shohei Ohtani, okay. All due respect to Bryan Woo, I would make that move. But I am concerned with that spot. At least it's the 5th spot. At least you have 3 aces pitching ahead of it, and Bryce Miller is totally competent, but I don't know. That's a little bit of a tough one for me. Austin Voth, the run ends up being not earned, but he didn't look great. I think I jinxed him real good. And Gregory Santos has not looked good at all. And, it's worth pointing out how much of a layoff he had. It's worth pointing out that he came back earlier than expected. And it's worth pointing out that the sample size is small. But he's been pretty bad. And the concern I have here is that Gregory Santos does not have a long line or he doesn't have the longevity of some other relievers. This is a guy with 1 year of success. And I do believe that Gregory Santos will be a fine member of the Seattle Mariner bullpen. But he hasn't looked good. And we'll talk about it in the positive. I think his role needs to reverse with somebody. So, yeah, concerning. And then my major concern, if there's such a thing after a win, the middle infield defense is not good. And look, we will certainly talk about Jorge Polanco in the positive section. That is not a good middle infield. And that's an area I think you have to upgrade. Dylan Moore is not a shortstop. Can't be. You're expected to get JP Crawford back in like a month. I don't think you can deal with a month of Dylan Moore as your shortstop. That would be a position I would be looking to upgrade considerably, even if you're just adding a defensive wizard at shortstop. Now, some people will suggest that maybe Leo Rivas can be that guy. I'd be aiming higher than that, but I just don't think Dylan Moore can be a starting shortstop. A nice player who does a lot of interesting things, mostly good. Can't be my starting shortstop because he and Polanco just don't have enough range. It's just not a good enough group. So that was my biggest concern, is that the middle infield defense looked pretty bad today. Let's get into the positives and start with Simply Seattle. Simply Seattle provides the very best in Seattle sports gear. Awesome stuff for your Mariners, of course, but the Kraken, the Seahawks, the Supersonics, the Storm, the Sounders, that's a lot of S's. The Huskies, the Cougars, you can find it all at Simply Seattle. And once you find all your good stuff, use code MOLLYWOP15 to save 15% off your order. MOLLYWHOP15. Enter it at checkout. Saves you that 15%. Once again, www.simplyseattle.com. And there is a link in the description that'll take you right there to order all of your goodies. All right, the positives. Victor Robles is awesome. I mean, right now, Victor Robles is awesome. I understand the skepticism based on his struggles earlier in the year with Washington and for a large portion of his career after his rookie season as well. But you can't deny that right now, Victor Robles is phenomenal. He also made a terrific throw. Now, it didn't end up mattering because I don't know what Gavin Sheets was doing. It kind of looked like he was trying to do the This Ain't Texas Beyonce dance. I don't know if that's the name of the song or not, but he clearly got tripped up at second base and something was going on. But it was a hose. He has a terrific throwing arm. He's a really good defensive player. And what he's providing offensively is phenomenal. This is awesome. Where would the Seattle Mariners be without Victor Robles right now? Probably in the same spot, but he certainly is helping. Radio Arozarena gets on a couple times. He does strike out twice, but I thought he took some pretty good at-bats. That first at-bat where he struck out, a terrific pitch from Eric Fede. By the way, weird that Eric Fede only goes 4 innings as well. I think that's probably trade-related, probably joining a new team. Here's hoping Garrett Crochet gets traded before tomorrow. So the Mariners don't have to face that stuff, and I'll be curious to see how deep he pitches anyway, but good game for Randy Arozarena. Scores a run, gets a hit, draws a walk. Yeah, the 2 strikeouts, but you get on 40% of the time, you're having a good day. Big dumper with the blast. Mitch Haniger gets on 3 times. I actually think he's looked a lot better as of late. And we'll talk about someone who's looked a lot better as well, too. Jason Vossler had some rough at bats, but did pick up the triple. Good for him. Josh Rojas gets on 3 times. Dylan Moore does get the RBI single. But Jorge Polanco, man, oh man, is this so necessary? And look, had a couple of rough defensive plays, but he's clearly seeing the baseball better and being able to drive it at a much more efficient rate as well. If you can get a semblance of this from Jorge Polanco going forward, oh, it's huge. Oh, it's ever so huge because they need it. They beyond need it. Jorge Polanco has to be a strong offensive option for this team. You are not going to do enough at the deadline to make up for it. You can't. You simply can't. So you need Jorge Polanco to be this guy. And I think over the last 2 weeks or so, Jorge Polanco has looked like this guy and then some. One other negative, by the way, Tyler Locklear has not looked good. Probably they gave the air to Josh Rojas. I think that Tyler Locklear should have fielded that baseball, or scooped it. Ty France makes that play. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. Wow, that was awful. But I do think that first base is somewhere you got to look to upgrade. But we're talking about positives. Sure, it came against the White Sox, but you faced a good pitcher today in Eric Fetty, and you more than held your own. Got 6 hits, drew a couple of walks, saw him leave early. Again, I wonder how much that had to do with stuff coming up than what he was doing. But, the other positives, on the pitching side, Colin Snyder escapes. That was a little sketchy, but gets the job done. Welcome to Seattle, Yimi Garcia. That was phenomenal. Really impressive. And that needs to be your high leverage guy. That needs to be your fireman. That needs to be your guy right now who's coming in to put out the fires. All due respect to Gregory Santos, who, again, has terrific stuff. He's just not in a place right now that you can trust him in this situation. Yimi Garcia is in that spot. I don't think I can overstate how impressive that inning was. Great job, and I loved that trade. By the way, please check out the recap videos for the trade on Radio Arozarena, Yimi Garcia, and the Ryan Stanek stuff. Really would appreciate you guys watching those and hitting like, and of course hit like on this video too. And then Andres Munoz, he does throw the wild pitch and it allows the run to score, but he absolutely works Luis Robert to get out of it. And then another phenomenal top of the ninth. His stuff has looked very, very good. Very, very good. Nice to see him. The only complaint I have, I guess, is that it's another 4-out save, and I'm hoping that the additions of Yimi Garcia and when Gregory Santos gets right, that they can do this less. Because I think that's the 7th 4-out save, which is a lot. It's a lot. So you get the win, and then tomorrow, man, I hope that Garrett Crochet doesn't pitch. I really, really hope that Garrett Crochet doesn't pitch, but he's scheduled to, and it's Bryce Miller versus Garrett Crochet. Advantage White Sox. All due respect to Bryce Miller, Garrett Crochet is a different level. So, Dodgers, Orioles, Mariners? Probably not. Go get him. Go get him. Because we saw what he did against Seattle, and you've seen what he's done for the majority of the year. He is a phenomenal pitcher, and while the lineup's improved with Randy Arozarena, yeah. As I said, please hit like, please hit subscribe. We will be doing a live chat for Maiawa enthusiasts on Tuesday. Not sure if we're going to do it during the game or not. I'll put out some feelers, see what you guys want to do. And then I will do a live chat Wednesday for the deadline for everybody, just like I did last year. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully we see the Mariners make moves, or, if they don't make moves that day, and I wouldn't hate them making moves the days before, but should be fun. Really appreciate the support, as I say at the end of every video, and it's because it's very true. Truly appreciate the support. Come on, Dodgers. Come on, and go get a sweep, Seattle Mariners.